Previously on the Star Wars. Honey, I'm home. You know, I could use some help carrying in all these groceries. No? Okay. Kind of rude. I'll just do it all by myself.
Dinjarin, have you ever removed your helmet? Have you ever removed your helmet?
System shut down. 10, 9, 8, 7.
No?
Like Creed, you must vow.
You know, now that you mention it, there were a couple times.
Then you are a Mandalorian no more.
Aww.
Gift for you. Whoa, stop! No! No! Stop! Oh, these are mine! These are mine! Stop! These are mine!
That's not how gifts work.
Things will go a lot smoother if you accept their ways.
Like a panther. Yes?
If I'm gonna start a house, I need brains and muscle. You have both.
And I don't have either, so it kind of works out perfectly.
Jabba rarely left his chambers.
Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect.
3 hours later.
Well, with apologies, no one respects you.
Just let me take my helmet off real quick. Give me a second, I gotta take this helmet off. Well, if you'll allow me to remove my helmet, I can explain.
Then you will work like a panther. Yes?
Leave the Beskar helmet. Take the gold, which is much less valuable. Oh no, you trouble. Hey, use your jetpack, Boba. Use your it's on your use your jetpack. Use your jetpack. It's you use your jetpack, Boba.
I can offer you something no client ever has.
What's that?
A panther. Yes?
You can only get so far without a
Panther.
Would you like your helmet serviced and cleaned while you wait for Madame Garza?
No.
Sure. Here, take both of us.
Look, old man.
I'm 37. What? I'm 37. I'm not old. That's what I'm on about. Did you see him repressing me? You saw it, didn't you?
My dad could beat up your dad. Let's have a laugh, honey.
In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for keeps?
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Radical.
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
My dad could beat up your dad.
Hey! Welcome to the show, everybody. It's a special season finale show, which means I spent like 12 hours working on the intro. So tell me it was good or I'll feel bad.
I especially loved your rendition of the Mandalorian theme song played by on a recorder.
Yeah, that was great.
That wasn't mine. I shamelessly stole that from another YouTuber. I'll link it in the comments. Yeah, welcome to the show. The show's called Best Generation because most of us are from the same generation and we happen to think that it's the best one. We are, however, very accepting of generations of all creeds as long as you acknowledge that All-Star by Smash Mouth is a timeless classic. Yeah, so this is the show where we talk about nerdy stuff, we complain about nerdy stuff, we praise nerdy stuff when it's good. And today we'll be talking about the season finale of Boba Fett, and the episodes 7 through 9 of The Legend of Vox Machina. We're talking about the Book of Boba Fett first, and we have a special guest today, the self-proclaimed Star Wars apologist, my friend Patrick. Or you can call him Ricky Tikki Tavi. As I always call him, isn't that right?
Yeah. All the way since like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. We're also joined by my cousin Jared and my brother David. That's his name. Okay.
Forget my name or something?
Yeah.
It's good to have you, Patrick.
Thank you. It's good to be
here. Yeah. So let's talk some Star Wars. But first, how about those memes, right?
Those are good. I enjoyed every one.
I did good? Okay.
Yes. All right. Use your rocket pack, Boba. Come on. It's always frustrating when you know they have something that they can use and it doesn't happen.
It's right there.
In the season finale when he fired his missile. And then 2 scenes later, he had another one.
It was back. Yeah.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. I think it was a little. The part that bothered me more in that scene is when he fires a rocket into melee, and
no one dies, and then 2 seconds later he uses the same rocket to just completely evaporate a guy who's running up the side of the building.
Yep.
But all right, we clown on the show a little bit, but I'm a bit of a pessimist. There are a few things I've liked about the show, but I have a lot of complaints. But hopefully today we'll have a bit more of a positive opinion.
I definitely have that. As you said, I am a Star Wars apologist, so
yeah, tell us about your
Star
kids.
Wars, so I consume it, and it sustains me, and that is mostly what I care about. Just like drinking soda. It's great, but it's not always great for you.
It's not good for you. Yeah. Yes. Today I'm opening a nice 2022 bottle of sangria. It's
Very nice.
Not gonna lie, it's an okay year. It's
so far
it's not the best. It's not yeah, tell us about your kids, Patrick.
So I'm assuming that you want to know information.
Yeah, of course.
Names.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going? Okay.
Yeah.
So my wife and I are fairly geeky, and we like lots of.
You don't say.
Geek things.
I couldn't tell by all the posters behind you.
Yeah. We try and keep it low key, but so our oldest his name is Xander, and that's from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Our youngest is Melody, that is from Doctor Who, and then our middle two girls are Mara Jade, first name Mara, middle name Jade, and our third is Jaina. So Mara Jade from the Legends Star Wars books, and Jaina.
Decanonized.
Yes. So she marries Luke in the books, and Luke and her are actually Ben's parents, not Leia and Han, as Episode 7 says. And then Jaina is one of 3 of Han and Leia's kids in the now non-canonized universe. So I wasn't terribly happy when those became not official stories that I named my kids after characters from that, but there's still hope that Mara Jade might show up in some form in the future.
Yeah, much like they redid Thrawn, introduced him into a new timeline, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Timothy Zahn's new books have been really great. I've liked that at least he came back and said, well, I'm going to make the best of this and give Thrawn a different story. There's still lots of common threads from things that we'd learned before, but it's good.
Yeah, I haven't read the new ones. I have the old Thrawn trilogy, and I think it was really cool that they brought him back to make a new canonized version of Thrawn.
Version of his character.
Yeah.
I have yet to read a Star Wars book. I've always wanted to do it. If you had to recommend one, what would it be? What do you start with?
Depends. Do you care if it's Legends or canon?
Don't care. I care if it's good.
I would recommend Kenobi or Darth Plagueis if it's Legends.
Darth Plagueis is the wise, right?
Yes.
So he was
Sidious's master.
Sidious's apprentice or master.
Yeah. If you're reading something new, sorry, I'm just looking at my bookcase here. I would start with maybe, there's a trilogy, Aftermath, Life, Debt, and Empire's End, that kind of just
the original trilogy,
kind of the reshaping of the galaxy after the fall of the Empire.
Yeah, I've heard that one is good from other people too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're joining us. Yeah.
I always appreciate talking Star Wars.
Let's talk about this season finale then. Let's jump into it. I have 2 full pages of notes, which is the most I've had on any episode.
Same here.
The episode was an hour long. It took me 3 hours to finish it because I had to keep pausing.
Excellent.
I had a lot of questions. I wrote them.
My biggest question is: have these people never fought something with shields before?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Why are you wasting all of that effort trying to destroy a shield? It's not a new thing.
It's not a new technology, right? It's been this since the sequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy. Sorry.
Yeah. That was my biggest thing. I was like,
they were
come
basically
on.
just big droidicas. Like
Yeah.
experienced bounty hunter should know. I shouldn't waste my one big rocket. Oh, but I guess he had a spare rocket because after he used it, it reappeared on his back.
Yeah.
So,
although, yeah, it was it's kind of ridiculous. They kept trying the same thing and just shooting their pitiful.
Why did they keep shooting?
Yeah,
All I can say. All I
But
can say is that. Well, go ahead and finish your thought, David, and then I'll.
Well, see, because obviously these shields are a little bit different than they were in the prequel trilogy. There's an episode of I think it's in the Clone Wars, but it might be in Rebels. I'm not sure. Where they're practice fighting against droidica shields, and it's kind of like the shields in Dune, something that has a slow velocity can make it pass through it. Yeah, so they're practicing throwing these thermal detonators and rolling them just at the right speed so it rolls in under the shield. And so I was really confused at first. So like, why? I mean, shouldn't they know about that? And then obviously it's works a little bit different than those shields did. But yeah, it was kind of silly how they just kept shooting their blasters at it. It was like, obviously that's not doing anything. You got to go find a different strategy.
Yeah. Well, they definitely did mention that. I remember they mentioned how like their high velocity weapons weren't working or whatnot. But the thing that I thought though, the thing that I thought was funny, when I saw them shoot these shields, I was like, well, it's a good thing they're laser guns and they don't run out of ammo, because they would have run out of ammo a long time ago if they'd wasted all that ammo trying to shoot these shields.
I think you can run out though, can't you? There's energy.
Most blasters in the Star Wars universe are fueled by Tabana gas, which is what Cloud City mined, and so they run out.
Yeah, I knew that's exactly what I was going to say. I knew that.
Yeah. And once they got inside the shield, I mean, it's like in a video game where the enemy has an obvious like target. I mean, how long did it take him to go for the eye?
I timed it. It was a good 20 seconds.
Yeah. Go for the eye.
Jumps on top of it and lets Boba get shot 3 times before he even swings his sword once.
I saw that too. I was like, he's on top. What is he doing? Like,
he was just standing there.
Even the Rancor got it. It was like
Yep.
Yeah,
I was happy that they gave us Grogu's choice right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And he was wearing his little chainmail, Beskar chainmail thing. That was pretty good. I personally, you saw the memes in the last week of the, give a heart if he's going to choose the Jedi, or give a like if he's going to choose the Mandalorian. And I honestly wanted him to choose the Jedi. As much as I love the Mandalorian, like I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
He
hasn't trained enough,
we talked about this last week. That Luke was kind of like rude.
Yeah.
Like who? Like, why make him choose? He's like a kid. Why are you making him choose?
Absolutes, right? You only get one choice. You can only get white.
I was like, first off, I think that making him choose was dumb. I get that they wanted to add drama, but also in this, when he describes the choice, he's like, well, if you choose Jedi, all of your friends will be dead by the time you finish training. And I was like, but it didn't take you that long to train. Like you learned how to be a Jedi in like a month.
One there most of the time to help you.
You were with Yoda for like a month, and then you took on Darth Vader, or a couple weeks maybe.
Yeah.
And in all the other comic books of his story, he just learns from like holocrons and other random people. He doesn't spend any significant time with anybody else. So
and I was like, even if that is the case, like Luke will die eventually, and then Grogu can go see his friend, right? Like,
yeah.
But
But I appreciate they didn't bring back Luke Skywalker. I know a lot of people were disappointed in that, but it's just like it's going to be, if they did that, it would just be the rehash
same thing. Yeah.
of Mandalorian season 2. So I appreciate they didn't do that.
The rest of the show wasn't.
Yeah, I'll reiterate what I said last week. I liked seeing Grogu train with Luke, but it was completely unnecessary for this show. He didn't have to show up. I, like you, Patrick, I wish that he would have stayed with Luke and trained a little longer, got some force training or whatever, and then he makes the decision to leave because of course Lucasfilm can't have him be part of the Academy when Kylo Ren does his little massacre.
Kylo Ren's not even born yet, right?
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Maybe he's just being born or something. But technically, Kylo Ren was his first student in the comics. He reveals that he was his first student.
Yeah.
But I would have liked him to stay with Luke, learn some cool Jedi moves, and then realize that he's got to move on. And he comes back, and we see him as like a teenager or something. I don't know.
Or both.
Whatever.
Like how cool would it be to see Grogu with a mithril, shirt and a lightsaber?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, think of all the accessories you could sell, Disney. Think of all the toys. Think of all the money to be made, Disney.
Yeah.
What if his lightsaber changed colors anytime a Sith was near?
Yeah. Then you could sell different colored lightsabers.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
Oh, that's funny.
But
speaking of last week, I want to know. I'm hoping at least that when they do the Ahsoka show, that it shows Luke and Ahsoka meeting, because it didn't seem to me. My brother was like, their first time meeting. I'm like, no, that definitely didn't seem like their first time interacting.
Yeah, no.
Did Ahsoka's presence make sense to you at all? Like, why was she there?
I don't know. More,
and then she just leaves. And like, well, okay, but why did you come?
Yeah,
exactly. And I've been listening to other people's reactions of Ahsoka, and I get that her conversation is a parallel of her choosing to leave the Jedi Academy, just like Grogu's going to ultimately choose that. But it's still, there was no reason for her to be there, and it was weird because she acted like she didn't know where Luke was in Mandalorian. She's like, "Oh, there's this other Jedi, you got to go find him, but I'm not going to take you to him. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to train him." And then she just shows up with Luke when Mando comes. It's just right at that moment too. Yeah. She's not sticking around. She's just there to talk to Mando and peace out. It was really weird.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they give a little bit more to that if they do in the Ahsoka show. I don't know if you guys have seen that they've been announcing that Ray Stevenson was cast for the Ahsoka show, and the current rumor, or I guess people's thoughts, is that he might be Thrawn, which would be a great casting. But.
Yeah, that would be a good focus for the Ahsoka show.
I could see that.
So
I just had to Google his face real quick. Yeah,
he was the second Punisher after Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Boba Fett riding a Rancor. I mean, I'm already seeing. I follow a bunch of collectors, and all these collectors are getting out their toys and putting Boba Fett on a Rancor, and
that was definitely the best part of the episode. That was great.
Yeah, and that's like every kid's dream of like, oh my gosh, the things I played as a kid came to life. Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that visual of the Rancor just climbing up over here, and then it bends down, and the Boba's on it. It was just, it was good.
Although I didn't necessarily appreciate the King Kong moment.
That part was a little ridiculous at the end.
I didn't either, but I gotta say it was just mainly because I didn't appreciate all the building getting destroyed. I'm like,
oh boy,
it's town, but
okay.
About the infrastructure.
Exactly. Come on, all of these nice buildings. Why are we destroying these buildings?
Yeah. Well, that was a conscious choice too, because let's get into my notes, okay? Because that's one of the first ones. Okay, they're like, Boba says, "Hey, we should go since." Okay, I can't just jump there. I've got it builds up, so I've got to. Let's start from the beginning. Apparently, the brothel bomb was inevitable. They said that. And a warning would have been nice. Also, like, what purpose did it serve? She wasn't really helping Boba, was she? I don't understand why she was the collateral, like the whatever her name is, the Twi'lek.
Yeah,
I gotta be.
I don't understand what message bombing, the town brothel sent to Boba specifically. It seems like that was like a message to the town, and the entire town was already on their side because everyone betrayed. All three of the mob leaders. I don't know what that was for. Okay,
so I figured that since everyone. Sorry, Patrick.
they knew he was a big fan of Flashdance, right? Isn't that what?
Right. Yeah.
So they're like, we're gonna target your favorite things.
Yeah. No, I figured it was just because, we learned later on that they did turn all of the other, syndicates against him in the town. But the brothel owner lady, Twilight, she was one of the only ones that was still loyal. So
does she have power?
To send the message.
Like what did?
I mean, it's kind of like a central hub for all the meetings and everything.
Okay, I will take that explanation. I just wish it was in the show.
I agree, but that's my headcanon.
That makes sense. Sure. I love that Mando just walks in, and he instead of showing up at Jabba's palace where he should probably go to find Boba, he just shows up at the palace and he's in the right place. And what baffles me is that Fennec in this scene turns to Mando and says, "Hey, did you get us an army?" And I was just like, that was your job. You told Boba that you could get an army. And it turns out your plan was just get one guy and hope he can get you an army.
She's a good delegator.
And then there was a huge contradiction in this scene. Apparently Boba was okay with the spice trade now. And Fennec as well. And the Mandalorian is the one who was convincing him to stop the spice trade, even though throughout the entire season, Boba Fett has been against the spice trade. And in this scene, she's like, "No, you're making money off the spice trade. You can't agree to do that," even though he's been fighting against it this whole time. And then Mandalorian says, "Well, it's the only condition for Freetown."
Was he really against the spice trade? I mean, when does he specifically say that? Because my understanding was the train that was going through the territory, those people were killing the Tuscans, and that's what set him off.
Yeah, he wasn't against the spice trade. He initially wanted to have them pay tribute for going past the land. He wasn't against it at all. He wanted to benefit from it. And then when they killed the Tuscans, he took over and decided to get revenge and end the trade.
But in order to make money off the spice trade, he would have to work with the Pikes, right? So how was he making money off the spice trade? Fennec said, "You're making money off of it. You can't stop it." There's no way he could be making money off of it.
Yeah, I don't have an explanation.
No, you're right.
But it was just weird because that felt like his arc, and then they gave it to the Mandalorian. It was like, no, if you want Freetown to be your army, you have to stop the spice trade. I hate that name. It's so dumb. And then I was like, it's just a bad name. What's the name of the brothel? Recently bombed brothel. Okay. And just seeing the Mandalorian and Boba Fett side by side just felt like night and day. Like the Mandalorian is so much cooler. His costume is way better. I liked the grungy Boba Fett. They painted him up and made him look all nice, and it just doesn't look as good.
Yeah, it's kind of like the difference between episode 1 and episode 4. I grew up with the dingy looking starfighters and things like that, and then one of my things with episode 1 is everything's so sleek and smooth. I like the dingy stuff.
It's funny that you go back in time and everything's nicer because effects got better. What? Yeah. That's a complaint that holds little merit, but it's funny still. But and then in that scene, the Mandalorian's wearing his helmet and Boba Fett isn't, and he's just not imposing without his helmet on. I'm just like, come on, make your main character cool. And I haven't watched the whole show with Elliot. He's only seen a couple episodes. My 6-year-old son. I watched this with him, and he was hilarious the entire time. He kept asking very reasonable questions, like in this scene. Dad, why does Boba Fett never wear his helmet in this show? What if he's in a fight and someone shoots his head?
Yep.
And I was just like, I feel you, Elliot. I wish I had an answer to that question. I don't know why he keeps taking his helmet off.
I think he probably just got accustomed, like you said, it's my head canon. It just makes sense that he got accustomed to being out in the heat without his helmet on, and then he put it on. He's like, "Why in the world was I wearing this helmet on this planet?"
Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, do you know if Cobb Vanth is going to come? Because if he doesn't, we're doomed." And I'm just like, "Yeah, that's your fault, Fennec. You were supposed to get an army." And then we've caught up. Boba Fett says, "Since we don't have an army, we should go to Jabba's palace and defend it there." And they argue, "No, we should bring the fight to the city where there will be inevitable civilian casualties." That's a good idea, but we're doing it to protect them.
And also they're willingly going to a less defensible location. I mean, the windows are blown out in the brothel, and they're just sitting there for no reason. And they're
not even like on the roof.
Yeah. Right. They're not in strategic positions. They're just holed up in the bombed out brothel, completely vulnerable. And they give up that position too. They come out multiple times. But yeah, it made way more sense to go back to Jabba's palace.
Well, yeah, they didn't even defend that place at all. Like they literally, the only time they showed them inside was when they were talking. And then when they came out to fight, they were outside to fight.
Yeah. And I hate that Boba Fett didn't have any say. He's like, we're going to go to Jabba's palace. And like, no, I think we should stay here. The biker gang. And he's like, okay, fine, we'll stay here. Like, come on. You're the leader. You need to show some cojones and, also, tell them what's what. Say, no.
Bad choice. Boba had the smart choice.
Exactly. And he should have said that. He said, hey, I'm in charge of this operation. We're holding up in the palace. But anyway, they decide for some reason to stay there.
And we were all wrong. We all thought that they were going to reincorporate the Sand People into the finale.
Yeah, when he left, I thought that's where he was going.
Yeah. Because they never specifically showed like the female Tusken Raider that beat the crap out of him several times. They never showed her dying, so we thought she was going to come back because he kept saying several times, "I've united all of the Sand People, and they're one people," but only like a small village of them got killed, and so we just assumed that they were going to be reincorporated without any explanation in the finale, and they didn't do that.
Season 2, baby.
And then you get the scene with the bad guys, and they're talking about how they need to kill Boba Fett, and he's like, it's going to take extreme measures to kill Boba Fett, even though he doesn't have an army or resources and has chosen an indefensible position. It's still going to take extreme measures to kill him.
And choose not to wear his helmet.
And then you get the big revelation that the Pikes framed the biker gang, which doesn't make sense because the biker gang was working for the Pikes. So Boba Fett would still be mad at the Pikes. I'm
sure that the biker gang, they still did their own stuff on the side. So.
Well, they weren't necessarily working for the Pikes. They were paying. The Pikes were paying tribute to the biker gang, right?
Okay, I guess they wanted them eliminated too. It says that in the scene. Yeah,
that revelation has no bearing on the plot at all. And then Cad Bane is like, "Oh, I know how to draw them out," and then
he doesn't.
He doesn't do it, and he goes there. He
waits till the confusion is over.
Exactly. And then he just reveals that piece of information.
If
hey,
you're an assassin, you create chaos. And while the person you're trying to kill is busy with giant scorpion droids, you pull out a sniper rifle and you eliminate the threat.
Yeah. But he, Cad Bane goes there to talk to him, and he immediately reveals, hey, it was the Pikes that killed all the Tuskens. I'm like, why did you tell him that? That didn't gain him an advantage. That didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know why he told it. That made no difference. That made no change.
Maybe he thought that making him emotional would make him make worse decisions. Bad decisions.
It would have worked if he tried to take advantage of him while he was emotional.
That might have worked if he was holed up in the the bombed out cantina,
and he
Cad
came
was
out
trying to convince him to get out.
Yeah.
But he was already out. He's already there. He's already vulnerable, and he just drops that piece of information for no reason. It was very confusing. And I don't know why that is important.
And then you get like the heist scene, right, where they're like explaining their plan, right, and they're like, "Oh, and these people are here, and these people are here," and like you've got like 5 people, and you've spread them out throughout the whole city.
Exactly.
And it's like we've got them all spread out. We'll know exactly when they show up. Literally the next second, the Cad Bane shows up, and he's not alone. He's got snipers on the roof. So what was the point of that whole scene explaining we'll know exactly when they get here? What was the point of any of it? I don't know.
Not only that, but they have Chrysanthemum watch the Transocean corner. And we already know he's got beef with the Trandoshans and they've got beef with him. And why did they assign him to that quadrant of the city, you know?
It just felt like the show was just like actively demonstrating Boba Fett's incompetence in the scene. He's like, I've got this big old plan, and then it's immediately foiled. And you're like, well, yeah, because it was a stupid plan.
Right. And he admits that too. When they all turn on him, he was like, yeah, it was the smart choice for them to turn on me. I'm like, yeah, because you didn't give him any incentive. You're admitting that you didn't get them incentive enough to stick with on your side.
Yeah, if you knew it was the smart choice, if he knew it was the smart choice, why didn't he know it was going to happen?
Exactly.
His plan was he gathered them together and said, "Pretty please, don't betray me. Please." Like that's all he did.
Yep.
And then for some reason in the scene, he keeps saying, "We have the Pikes outnumbered.
Yeah.
If we use our numbers against them, we can win." But even with all of Freetown, the Pikes clearly had more numbers because they mowed down hundreds of them.
Yeah. He's just using that catchphrase. So then, you know, after they all the other syndicates or factions turn on him, Fennec Shan says, Boba. After that, though, they say, we've got to go rescue our people. And Fennec Shan says, and I wrote this down, quote, no, he says, there's no way to overcome their advantage. And then, like, in the next scene, she's out there sniping all these people to rescue the biker gang.
We don't have time to save them. Go kill the leader. And she stops to save them.
Yeah. She's the one that says there's no way to overcome their advantage. We can't save them. And then she saves them. It's like,
also
okay,
in that scene, she's a sniper, right? And she's sniping like from the ground, from like a first story level.
Yeah.
And like, she's basically in the same position that the bikers were. She's just like on the roof. I was like, that's not going to give you like maybe like shoot them from a clock tower or something. I don't know. Yeah. I was like, she did nothing that they couldn't have done themselves. Like if she was able to kill them all, the bikers could have done so. And the fact that they didn't just shows that they're incompetent.
I just too with that heist scene, I thought it was funny where they showed like all the people like going through the streets or whatever and like passing the next guy or whatever, right? And I thought it was funny because they drove past him and then they're like, "Hey, what's up?" and the whole time I was like, isn't the point of something like that to be inconspicuous and not really point out that you're there? And yet they're like going by, "Hey, what's up?" So yet another just flawed. I was like, this. I mean, I gotta admit. So this whole episode, it was better than the first part of this season, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But there were still so many times where I was like, I do not understand what is going on, and this is just funny how it's not coming together.
When we get to the actual like tactics of the fight, they don't make any sense. They don't make any
choreography of the ambush scene in particular was terrible. Like the Gamorrean guards are just like waving their weapons, standing out there in the middle of nowhere against a cliff. They're just waving their weapons, and all of them are coming up. It's just
they're herded like cattle off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, like who choreographed all this? It was. The music when all of this was happening, it was awful. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
The musical score behind everything, it didn't fit.
I appreciated at the end of the episode when you got like the ocarina rendition of the main theme, and it was like do 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 do. It was like a Pokemon like Oh, everyone's happy now. It was like, what is this music? But before we get there, I mean, I liked Cad Bane said, "You've gone soft in your old age, Boba Fett," and his response is, "We all do," and my response is, "Well, no, because Cad Bane isn't soft and he's old too. I don't understand what that line means." And then, oh no, they got betrayed by the crime lords when they asked so nicely for them not to do that.
Not only that, I just realized a couple episodes later when Fennec Shand and Boba were at the campfire, she says to him that you've gone soft. And he says, "No, I've gotten strong. Or something."
Yeah, because I have a tribe, even though I got them all killed. You can only get so far with a tribe, which I need a new tribe.
He admits to Cad Bane that he is soft. That's
so
okay.
They get all ambushed, right? Which who could have seen coming? All of them betrayed them, and you get the scene with Chrysanthemum, and he's fighting a bunch of the whatever their names are. And you have a guy sneak up behind Chrysanthemum with an axe and hit him
in the back.
In the one place he has armor. He strikes him on the shoulder instead of literally anywhere else, which would have killed him. He snuck up behind him and didn't hit him in the head. He hit him in the shoulder where he had armor. And I was, what?
Bad choreography.
And then they tackle him to the ground, and all of their weapons disappear. They just dogpile on him instead of like stab him.
Yep.
So that he can reappear mysteriously, later on, without explanation. Like what happened to all? They all had knives. They all had swords instead of guns, right? And then they cut away. He's just getting piled on, but no one has knives anymore. Okay.
Can we just pause real quick? Yeah. Patrick, you're awfully quiet up there. I'm wondering if we're just too much already or what.
No. Like I said earlier, it's good that everybody has different opinions, and people are entitled to opinions even when they're wrong. It's fine.
There are things I liked about this episode. We'll get to them later, but
yeah, but like Alan said, I'm a Star Wars apologist, so I just consume it, and I love it. It brings me happiness and joy, and I can look past those things and just enjoy the coolness, even though there are those little things, and I don't spend a lot of time dwelling on them.
As another Star Wars friend of mine says, like it or not, it's canon. So,
yep.
Okay.
You got to accept it.
So then we get the scene where Fennec saves the biker gang, the Power Rangers,
which I wish he hadn't. I mean,
I know. I wanted. I have it in my notes. I hope all of these people die. But Fennec disobeyed her orders to save them, which is quite unfortunate. And Elliot made another comment. Why was she using the walkie-talkie to talk to them if she was right there?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, exactly. She's in the same position. Like, she didn't do anything they couldn't have done themselves. She didn't have an advantageous position on the attackers. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. My wife referred to their little speeder bikes as jazzies.
Jazzies.
Like the old person shopping cart things.
Yeah.
They were just so bad, and just the
so slow
when they introduced them, and they chase them. It's like, this is like a 1 mile an hour chase. Like there's no drama in this. So
yeah,
I definitely could have done without those characters.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing too, I noticed this time is, so the one girl that had her arm missing and was the prosthetic, she doesn't use that arm at all throughout the scene, at all. She just has her other hand, and she's like, yeah, okay,
the only time that their prosthetics were featured was in the chase scene when the guy with the stabby leg goes and just stabs the side of the guy's car with his leg.
Yeah.
And the guy with the eye implant has used it to give the audience information that they could just see for themselves with the Pikes arriving.
Especially when they've already made the point of saying that there's this swoop gang, speeder gang that is hardcore, at least to a much bigger extent than the Jazzy gang.
Yeah.
That to use them instead of like a more hardcore group, just I wish they would have used, a gang full of Nyctos or whatever would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Several of the other books like Shadows of the Empire back in the day, there's all about swoops and these swoop gangs and yeah, so that I wish it was something more.
And we talked about this earlier on previous shows, but I want to hear your opinion. What doesn't make sense to me is when he first meets the biker gang, he says, or they say like, why'd you steal the water? Why didn't you pay for it? He's like, because we don't have any jobs. It's like, well, you could just get a job. There's no work. Haven't you looked around? Like, we're poor and they have like really nice, expensive, like Harley Davidson lowrider bikes, which stand out because everything else on this planet is a junk heap, right? Like patched together with bad paint. But you don't have money for water, but you have money for big, expensive bikes. I don't get it.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
Okay. Looking through my notes. We get the scene. We get like the negotiation scene, right? We're like, we're clearly outnumbered because we didn't plan at all. And they're trying to figure out what to do. And he says, look, we could just run. We could just abandon the planet. We could get out and we'd be fine. And he says, no, I will not abandon the planet. And then the mayor's assistant says, I have another plan. And you said you wouldn't abandon the planet. But here's my idea. Will you pay them money to abandon the planet? and he says yes, and he believes it.
Yeah. Well, I think Boba Fett really
what? It's just a worse play. It's the same thing, but worse.
I mean, that character is already a stupid throwaway character. But, Boba Fett gets that I'm just going to send him out as a sacrificial lamb to give me time to do something else.
It, and that his suggestion was, hey, why not? Let's take your idea and make it a little bit worse.
I think it's okay to make that guy a bumbling fool. I mean, he already, like, the way he acted the part, because just
I'm upset he didn't get killed in that scene.
Yeah, I was like, I was wishing the Pike guy would have just shot him down.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that Boba Fett would shoot him down, but then he used him as a distraction, and that was cool too. But the whole time he was doing his plan, I'm just like, shoot him in the face, just shoot him in the face, please, shoot him in the face. And you're like, I can't believe he's going with his plan. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a distraction. That's cool. But he still should have got shot in the face.
Boba Fett come flying out. Oh man, the little child inside of me was
that was all worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah, they finally used their jetpacks to get to an advantage position. No. They land right in. They could have just walked out the front door. Is that where? Because that's where they ended up. What was the point of the jetpack? It looked awesome, but what was the point? Fly to the roof, flank, and then shoot from angles and dart around. But no, fly. Use your jetpacks, and then just land right in front of the ambush. You're in the same spot you were 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, that was one of the moments when they came out. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. This is perfect. And then they just land right in the middle of the alley, no cover, and just don't move. And they forget they have jetpacks for.
And on top of that, it was repeated by every ancillary character.
Yeah, they all go.
Hey, I'm going to come in. Am I going to flank? Nope. I'm going to come and expose myself and then meet you in the ambush spot.
Exactly.
Oh, and then Chris Anthon shows up and he meets them, and then the bikers show up and then they get stuck in the same place, and then Freetown shows up to get trapped in the same place. Like that's flank.
Yeah, this is another part when Freetown shows up that I was really disappointed in the musical score in the background, because they're Boba Fett and Mando are there, they're getting shot, they're overwhelmed, whatever, and then the music kind of stops for a little bit, and then the speeder cargo thing comes in, Freetown comes to rescue him, and the music it comes back in very slowly. And goes back to normal, and it's just like it should have been a big swell of like, we're being rescued, yeah. But the music in the background was just so bad at this moment. I was really mad that throughout all the action scene, it just I don't know what went wrong there. It just didn't come together.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that. To be honest,
Yeah.
Dave, I haven't really noticed much of the music stuff, but
That's something I like to pay
because I'm
attention
kinda
to.
like-
Good.
I'm
I
kind of
think
like
that's why
Patrick. I'm like,
Sorry,
this is entertaining enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What'd you say, Patrick? I didn't catch up.
I agree. Yeah, it's entertaining, and I honestly, Alan. So I want to know your approach to why you watch these things if you have so many complaints about them. When I have complaints about something, I just stop watching it.
Because if it were any other franchise, I would stop watching it. But it's Star Wars. Like I love Star Wars, and I want it to be good. And I've explained this before. The reason I'm so passionate about it is because it could be good, right? If you have a bad movie, right, with no budget and just bad writing, I will watch it and I won't really care because it's fine. Like that's what it is. But when you have something with this much potential, and when the solutions to fix the problems that are so prevalent are not difficult and wouldn't even cost money, would just require a couple little tweaks in the writing, that's when I get so passionate about this kind of stuff, right? Because it just shows incompetence. And it shows that the people who are making it don't care about it. Because it wouldn't be hard.
The people who are making it, especially right now, the people don't care about it. I would argue that we have people that care about it more than we ever have before. And I don't know where the problem lies within that. But I mean, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, these people are passionate. They've been fans longer than any of us have. And their passion is in it. These are people that care. I don't know where the problem comes from. I mean, I know that there's obviously disconnects in places where they're not seeing these loopholes and these, problems within the script and what have you. But I definitely wouldn't agree with that they're not passionate about it.
I agree.
But to me, it says they don't care. Because it's not hard to fix these problems, and they're not exactly like deep problems. Like they're very surface level. Like if you just looked at it for a second, you'd be able to tell, hey, there's a little bit of inconsistency here. Do we want to take the time to polish it and make it look a little nicer? Do we want to sit down for just a little second and just think about the script a little bit more so it's not just trash? It wouldn't take time. It wouldn't take money. It would just take passion. And like, I don't feel like these people are passionate. I think Dave Filoni has done really great things with Star Wars. I think he's kind of indifferent now. I think he's kind of just cashing in a paycheck. I don't think he cares about it as much as he used to. And I don't think that studio interference helps. I think Kathleen Kennedy is the source of most of the problems. I'm sure a lot of the problems are, hey, we want to do something cool, and they say no, you need to put in some stuff that sucks.
Yeah, I would say that the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett wouldn't even exist if there wasn't passion on these people's parts. If they didn't care about it, they wouldn't even be here.
You don't think that Kathleen Kennedy would hire someone else to do a soulless cash grab
project, and they'd be doing something else? I mean, they had to have passion in order to.
Yeah, I don't.
Ideas and
it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. I'll give you that. It just bugs me when the fixes are so easy and so glaring that it's like, how did you not know?
Yeah. And like I said, the beginning of the scene when they came out with their jetpacks, that was awesome. Yeah, I was like, this is amazing. And then they just landed and they didn't have any cover. And then, like you said, everybody just kept coming from different directions. Chrysanthemum, the Freetown, the speeder bike game, and they all just like gathered up behind that speeder in the same spot for cover. It's like, what are you doing?
It's not how tactics work at all.
Yeah, the choreography was just the blocking was awful. Like, what
It
are you thinking?
it
Get some
felt
cover.
it felt like a 60s western where all you see are just cut to some guy standing behind a balcony shooting his gun, and then cut to someone else shooting behind cover, and all you see is shooting behind cover, and then some people falling over eventually. And it wasn't until like Unforgiven where you actually like see the gun and the person getting shot in the same frame. And people realized, oh, we can make movies good, right?
So where is the evidence that any of the characters had any experience with that sort of combat?
Boba Fett?
Yeah, where's the evidence that he has
Boba Fett
type of combat? He was a bounty hunter. So he's dealing with behind the scenes, sneaking around. He's not dealing with open combat like that. Where have you seen him in open combat?
I don't have experience in open combat, and I could have made better choices.
Okay, in the heat of the moment, maybe
I know what a flank is.
Okay, that's fair. We'll get you in with the giant droid coming at you and see how you do, Alan. I
will struggle with the droid.
You wouldn't last as long as you think you would.
But if I had a lightsaber and I was the Mandalorian, I wouldn't spend 20 seconds just standing there and not using my lightsaber.
You also might hesitate using that dark saber if you'd sliced your leg open.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
That's true. I would.
You're right. You're right. I can't judge. I am not the leader chosen to rule Mandalore. I clearly cannot have an opinion on.
But like all the people from Freetown and
they're inexperienced.
They don't have experience with that. So I mean,
but Chrysanthemum, Boba Fett.
But they're bounty hunters. It's
the biker gang. You're saying that the bikers were incompetent?
Yes.
Those were
the jazzies.
Those were the most skilled, brave warriors I've ever seen on screen. How dare you besmirch their names?
Yep.
Oh man. No, I agree with Patrick though. I think that there is a lot that like I enjoyed, especially being like the whole like Star Wars thing where I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting to see more Boba Fett with this season and with this episode.
Oh yeah, we've seen more of Boba Fett in this episode than the entire season. He's had more to do.
Yeah. I will say, as soon as they left that position, it got much better.
Yeah,
right.
Except that they kept trying to shoot the shields with their blasters, and you're like, "Come on!"
Yeah, but then again, like, what else? Like, you don't know what to do, so just keep shooting for I don't know. But
maybe use the time to think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
also, they were all just running in a straight line, and like the robot was kind of slow, and I was like, "How are they not like further away from this robot?"
But I mean, they really didn't have much else too, though. I mean, it's not like they have like thermal detonators on them and stuff like that, right? So it's like. They only have these guns probably. Like the one guy that talks about how they were used to hunting in the desert, right? So it's like these are tools that they use. So
they're tools.
It's kind of like them using their pitchforks.
Yeah.
And
that's fine. Sure. How were the droids not like the first option for the Pikes? They laid they let like hundreds of their guys just get mowed down, and then like, oh wait, we have droids with shields. Maybe
droids are more expensive than
after everyone's dead, right?
They don't want to overplay their hand.
They got a discount at 1-800-HENCHMAN for how many henchmen they had, and those droids are much more expensive.
I had to be powered up first or something. I don't know.
I know we already talked about it, but I do have it in my notes. Boba still hasn't learned from episode 1 how shields work.
Yeah,
because it's not just that they've been around for a long time. It's that they've been around in this show. He tried to fire a rocket into a shield in episode 1, and it didn't work. I'm glad. Huh?
Boba Fett wasn't in episode 1.
Boba Fett wasn't in episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, I thought you meant the fan episode 1.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm like,
no. Sorry, of this show, episode 1 of this show. Okay, I confused.
Yeah, that makes sense. Droidekas were in.
No, remember when the assassins showed up and tried to poke him with non-lethal sticks?
Yeah.
They had shields, and he shot a rocket into them, and it didn't work, and he tried it again in this episode. So, but I'm glad you're here, Ricky Tikki Tavi, because I do have a deep lore question for you. I'm curious in canon if you know how many direct blaster shots to the chest can an unarmored Wookiee take before he dies?
Well, according to the Anatomist Encyclopedia of Star Wars aliens, that, I definitely have here. Yeah, like this. Yeah, sure. Not really.
Is it 6 or 7? Is it 6 or 7? Because I was counting the bullets.
They've tested it at 13.
Okay.
Yeah, what's kind of funny that Chrysanthemum took more, or not more, but a lot of blaster bolts, and he doesn't have any armor.
It's one of those things you have to chalk off to adrenaline in lots of shows where they come limping out like they're gonna die.
Okay.
And then the next scene they're like,
yeah, but in episode 3, right? The Return of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh,
the
that's
movie
what I
now.
said. Yeah, the movie in episode
The movie
3 of the
episode?
movies. There's Wookiees and they're getting killed by stormtroopers like left and right. I'm sure that they had lots of adrenaline too.
Oh no, I was just saying it's funny that sort of thing happens, but
point.
and they're clone troopers, not stormtroopers.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, because it was after Order 66.
Yes.
So they turned into stormtroopers.
Not yet. The transition didn't happen yet.
Yeah,
they haven't.
Where they're showing that is before Order 66.
They haven't had their top surgeries yet. Okay.
Watch the Bad Batch.
Watch the Bad Batch. I haven't finished the Clone Wars. I'm on
I
season
know.
3. I can't just binge it. It's
a lot. There's a lot.
I remembered the word I was looking for when we were talking about the Clone Wars. It's an anthology series because it is non-linear.
Yes, in fact, I've had to make a list of how to watch the episodes so that it
in order.
Yeah. Actual chronological order as opposed to release.
I'll get there eventually. I watch a handful of episodes with Elliot occasionally. So.
Yeah.
I was going to make a comment about something and now it's slipped my mind. There's so much.
It's
back and forth here.
So Grogu shows up, and I hate that lady. I know you like her, Jared. I hate her so much. I think her acting is terrible, and I think she's and she brings a baby into a bloodbath.
Yeah,
like she can't hear the explosions that have been going on, and she gets there. Hey, I brought you a baby, and I also packed some fragile porcelain dolls. And she's surprised that there's a war going on. She says it in the scene. What? They're shooting?
Well, she's obviously there for comic relief, and that's the thing about Amy Sedaris.
And she's not funny. She's not funny. I don't know why you like her, Jared.
I just realized something.
I gotta watch her other stuff, I guess.
See, because I don't like her character too. She shouts every line she says. She doesn't give any emotion. She's just shouting. But I just realized maybe she's shouting because she's partially deaf. She's hard of hearing. That's why she couldn't hear the battle going on. Now, that makes perfect sense.
I'm totally good with love who you want to love, but the whole her and a Jawa.
Oh yeah,
right.
Because
Jared liked that. He liked that
underneath. So if I knew what a Jawa looked like under the robes, then maybe I could be a little more okay. But there's just so much unknown. I was not okay with that.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was cringy.
Yeah, it's just it's Amy Sedaris, and that's who she is. That's who she always has played, and it's hilarious for me.
It's not good.
Yeah. It wasn't just a throwaway thing. She kept going back to it.
Yeah, no. I really slept with a Jawa. Like that's the thing. It's canon. Bestiality. Hey, ho, da 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 da. I hate her so much.
I just love that Grogu put the Rancor to sleep. I thought that was
great.
Yeah, he has force sleep. I thought that was a cool force power that is not really prevalent. He can force sleep people. That was great. When we get to when the Rancor finally comes out, I was enjoying it. I was like, finally, there's a good scene.
Awesome.
The two fight scenes with the two. I guess there's really only one because the second fight scene just ends with a building getting fallen on the Scorpion droid, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I call them the super battle droidicas.
Droidicus. Yeah,
But
that was
yeah,
great.
I think they're Scorpion droids or
I was like, finally, there's some good action, and finally, Boba Fett does something cool in his show.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved the Rancor fight with it was just bearing down on the Scorpion droids, and I don't know, it was just awesome. Then he ate a
I know.
It was just like, that was the same feeling when
he went for the first guy, and I was like, "Oh, please eat him!" And he hit him again.
Yeah.
I was like, "Aw!"
I was like, come on!
But I was like, "Yes!"
Yeah, the same feeling when Chrysanthemum ripped the Trandoshan's arm off. I'm like, "Please rip his arm off! Rip his arm off!" I'm like, "Yes!"
Yeah,
I wanted him to listen to the lady and not do damage. I wanted her to put him in his place. I was,
also,
and then when they were fighting, I was just like, "Oh, I'm just so glad that they brought the fight into the city where they could have all this collateral damage, and the Rancor could throw these battle droids into people's homes."
Worst
like
place.
a classic kaiju battle. It was great.
Wouldn't this whole episode have been cooler defending Jabba's palace? We could have explored the palace. We could have seen parapets and be like, hey, let's actually live in this space a little bit. It could have been cool, man.
It could have.
I don't, but their holodeck sets aren't big enough for that. I don't think they're. You know about how they filmed the show? It's incredible technology.
What do they call it?
It's a
I don't know
holodeck.
if they have a name for it.
Yeah, no, there's a name in the.
There's a name for it, and I call it the holodeck. But it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of it, but yeah, I watched those behind the scene things. It is really cool.
It is groundbreaking technology, and it's awesome.
I just gotta say that I think my favorite part with this sort of spider scorpion drone sort of thing was when Grogu is using the Force on it, and you're like,
Pulls out
"Oh,
the
what's
kneecap
happening?
thing.
What's happening?" And then he gets the big bolt, and you're like, "Yes, Grogu bolts."
Grogu's great. I just don't know why he's in the book of Boba Fett, but yeah.
Oh
Money, baby.
Yeah.
Money. Yeah. Give him a lightsaber. I'll pay money for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Why also the mechanic lady that I hate? Why is her blaster a blunderbuss?
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice
Her
that.
blaster it's a blunderbuss.
Yep, it's definitely a
which
blunderbuss.
cannot be very accurate. And it's such a weird design. I hate it. I hate her character. I hate it. Okay. And then we get, after the fighting is all over, Cad Bane shows up because he's finally lured Boba Fett out. What did you think? So I was wrong. I eat my words. They did have the Boba Fett Cad Bane standoff.
Called it.
Even though they already did it in the last episode with Cobb Vanth. What did you think about that?
Oh, it was awesome. I loved it, especially that they both well, I guess Boba shoots but doesn't hit him, but Cad Bane does hit Boba Fett. I appreciated that. Kind of gave you the upper hand. But then it's like the Incredibles thing. Oh, you got me monologuing, and because Cad Bane can't just shut up and do something, and so then Boba Fett. I'm glad that he used his
gaffy stick.
Yeah.
But he was stepping on his Boba Fett's arm.
Yeah, that part was a little bit weird.
It didn't make sense. But I liked that Cad Bane won, and he just kind of kept shooting him. I loved that. I was like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. I was like, Boba Fett's been stupid. He deserves this. He hasn't made good choices, but narratively, it was good. It was a good subversion of the good guy lost. But then he gets the upper hand. He's stepping on his arm so that he can't grab his blaster, but he can reach his stick. And that was the entire reason for all of the flashback scenes was so that he could beat Cad Bane with his sand people stick.
Obviously, it's more than just that. Come on. And he has two arms, so just because he was stepping on does I know that's a big reveal for you that there was another arm there.
He had two arms.
Yeah.
Right. So Cad Bane clearly didn't see him moving his other arm, even though he had his gun trained to his head. Okay.
Yep.
I get it.
It's a known weakness of Duros. They just
the peripheral vision is
peripheral vision.
But I loved that Cad Bane asked him, there's one thing I don't understand. What's your angle? And I agree. Please tell us, what is your motivation, Boba Fett? I don't know what you want. I don't know what.
I just remembered the set thing is called the volume.
The volume.
That's a bad name.
It is.
Jinx.
Yeah.
That's a bad name.
Yeah, but that's what it's called.
Call it the holodeck or something, right?
That would be cross-curricular. It doesn't work.
Don't care.
Or the solid deck. I don't know.
Yes.
The Stalo deck, the Star Wars deck.
The solid deck, because it's hollow, but not.
Oh,
Play on words. Never mind.
Like one Solo. I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I really liked the Cad Bane standoff. I think this was the highlight of the episode. Although I want to say I did call it as soon as Cad Bane last week. I said as soon as Cad Bane shows up, he's gonna fall off his Rancor. And they're gonna have a battle. I thought that was a little bit silly. But the Rancor runs off. But I really like the dialogue between Cad Bane and Boba Fett. I wish they had one more direct callback though to that deleted scene that we talked about last episode, where he says, they're fighting. In the dialogue, and he says, "I have my armor." I really wish Cad Bane said, "Your armor may have saved you last time.
Yeah,
we'll see if it is. We'll see if you're so lucky again." And that would just been a nice little callback to that deleted scene that is apparently canon, where they had the standoff before and shot each other in the head, and that's how Boba Fett got the dent in his.
That's a Clone Wars thing, right?
That was a Clone Wars deleted scene.
The last season of the season that got canceled.
Right.
It was going to be in the next one, then it got canceled, then it got rebooted, and they didn't include it in the reboot. So
but they've said that it is canon. It did happen, even though they didn't show it. And then Cad Bane. I keep saying Cobb Vanth. The Star Wars names are too similar.
Similar names.
Yeah. Cad Bane has got the metal plate on his head. From
which
where he got
is
shot.
missing in this.
No, you can see it there.
I didn't see it. Where? What scene?
You just see it under the brim of the hat.
Yeah, when he gets shot, his hat comes off.
I was looking for it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
But I wish they would have had one little line. It's like your armor may have saved you last time. We'll see if you're lucky again or something. That would have been just icing on the cake.
I didn't love his last line to Boba, which was, "I knew you were a killer," and I was like, "Yeah, we all did. We were hoping he was going to be a killer this whole show, and instead, he's been soft." I like that. It could have been better. Yeah, it could have been like, I knew you were. We've seen him kill people, except in this show for some reason.
Yeah. In fact, after that,
all he's done is gotten his friends killed. But go
No, I didn't mind that line, and I liked, in the after. Is that right after this? No, they do the Rancor stuff first. Never mind. We'll come back to it.
What are you talking about? There's like 2 scenes in the show left.
Yeah. Well, okay. So when all the mayor and the Pikes are getting assassinated in their little hold-up room, I thought that was going to be Boba Fett. I was like, all right, Boba Fett's back. Cad Bane said he's a killer. It's like, and Boba Fett's, you're right, I'm a killer. I'm going to kill all these guys. And then it's
Fennec.
I'm like, oh, come on. Boba Fett was cool. You proved that he's cool. He rode a Rancor. He just killed Cad Bane. And then you go have Fennec get the kill on him.
How does she have the strength to lift up the mayor with a Garrett?
Yeah.
Probably like a little motor on the gun,
I'm really glad she brought a generator and put it on top of the.
Yeah, but Boba Fett could have done it with his armor. He had a winch on it or something. I was just really hoping that that scene would have played out exactly the same.
Like he was,
and then there was the one Pike with the gun and the door opens, and it's Boba Fett, and he shoots the gun out of his hand, and he's like, "Oh no, please, please, please!" And then he shoots him in the face.
Like the
He's
mayor
like, "Come on, give that to Boba Fett, please."
Yeah,
but no, it's got to be Fennec.
I agree that replacement would have been good. Just like how in The Last Jedi, this guy should have been the guy flying the ship, not
exactly.
Admiral
Holdo.
Yeah.
It was an awesome scene. Just please, just give it to Boba Fett. But he's like, "Oh, we've showed Boba Fett he can be cool again." And
the mayor's a big guy. He's probably
the
the weight of like 2 humans, right? And she just apparently could just lift him up, and he stays there. She tied it off before she killed everyone else.
Yeah. He also she transports behind him.
Yeah, she just teleports.
Yeah.
Also, why is he still there? Why is the Pike guy still there? He knows that it went wrong and that Boba's going to come kill him, and he just stays. And he knows that Boba knows where he works from the flashbacks. Yeah. It's the same building. Maybe change buildings.
Yeah, they should have tried to get out, but
why is he still there?
Yeah.
Except for the mayor dude had to tell him.
I'm trying to remember, does Boba Fett introduce himself as Boba Fett when he goes in that flashback?
No.
Everyone should know who Boba Fett is.
But he comes in those robes talking about the Tuscans, so I mean,
I'm pretty sure he says, "Yeah, I'm Boba Fett and I own the Tuscans. I've united them," even though we have no evidence that he united all of the Tuscans.
Yeah, there's no evidence of that, but I don't remember if he actually introduced himself.
All the show showed us is that he was friends with 6 Tuscans, but apparently that's all of them united under one banner, and they don't come back in the finale. So then everything's over. We got the forced sleep, right? That was cool. Everything with
King Kong Rancor.
Yeah, I loved Grogu coming to defend. As the Mandalorian is injured and on the floor, and Grogu just steps up and you thought, boy, because Grogu's great. But then it's all over, and then you get the Pokemon music, which just doesn't feel like Star Wars to me. And you get Boba Fett walking around the streets with Fennec, and his first after the aftermath, the first thing he says is, "I'm not suited for this."
Yeah. Again, it calls back why did he want to do this in the first place? What is his motivation? That line was just no, it's what is this all for? We're not suited for it. Couldn't you figure that out before?
I wasn't sure were they trying to imply I'm not suited for the interacting people, I'm going to go hang out at the palace and you guys talk to the regular people, or was he actually saying, I don't want to be the head of a crime syndicate. I'm going to leave it to Fennec. I'm going to go off and have an adventure. Which is it?
I think it's the second one. I think he said
we're not suited for this.
What
was any of this for?
Exactly. Because she says, if it's not us, then who? And it pans out, and then the bike gang and Chrysanthemum are sitting right there. He's going to give control of the city to the biker gang, leave it under their control.
If we get a biker gang spinoff show, I will kill myself.
And it'll all be dead.
The real question...
It'll be Patrick's fault.
Yeah, the real question is, are we going to get a spin-off show with the Major Domo and the mechanic lady?
Yes.
Just hashtag relationship
just
goals.
Pick my least favorite characters. Pick the mechanic lady, the mayor's assistant,
the water seller guy,
Willick assassin from season 1 of The Mandalorian, and the watermonger, and those 4 can have a spin-off show, and I will hate it.
Make it a real world thing though, so we're just filming them in real life, living in an apartment together.
Oh, a sitcom. Can we have a Star Wars sitcom? I would watch that. I would watch a Star Wars sitcom.
That would be funny.
Had planned one that was like a droid one.
I would watch anything
Robot Chicken. But then the whole Disney takeover thing happened, and of course it got crashed. But
that'd be funny. Yeah. I gotta say too, I thought it was funny how they ended it too with Grogu and Mando. I mean, we saw that obviously, that little cockpit in the back was just for Grogu. But
Oh, of course.
I love it when he's like tapping on the glass.
That was great.
He's like, okay, fine, one more time, and he just like shoots off into this.
Yeah, it was good. Grogu's great, and anytime I see the Mandalorian on screen, I want to be watching the Mandalorian and not the Book of Boba Fett, because Boba Fett was boring and didn't have. He had one cool moment in his whole show, and they bring back the dreadlock guy.
The modifier guy
to fix Cobb Vanth. Oh, great! Yay, Cobb Vanth's not dead, so there were no consequences to any of this. And for a split second, I thought it was Cad Bane in the back to tank. I was like, "Oh, they can't get rid of Filoni's favorite villain." Like,
well, he might not be dead either.
Oh,
there's chatter online. If you watch that scene again, as soon as he dies, there's a light that starts blinking and beeping.
I saw that.
I can't plug my ears through my headphones.
Go dark, but it was still blinking. It was still blinking.
Yeah,
I can't plug my ears through my headphones. But what was my point? It was that I forgot.
No one can die. They bring him back to life.
Yeah,
darn back to tank.
I do think that's one of Dave Filoni's downsides. Is he's too fond of his characters. He doesn't let anyone die.
There have been so many. I mean, I'm only 3 seasons.
With the exception of a couple people in Rebels, which was
I'm only good, 3 seasons into Clone Wars, and there's already been like 6 death fakes.
Yeah. But I mean, come on. He was stabbed in the chest. Darth Maul was cut in half, and he survived. You know. Cad Bane's coming back.
Plus, well, here's the thing. If he doesn't die, his last words were hypocritical.
Yeah, because he's not a killer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is he a liar or is he dead?
I honestly, I think it would be great for the story if he is actually dead. It would be a fitting end for him. My only concern with that is Cad Bane is my favorite Star Wars character from
he's a
from
great
the animated
villain.
TV shows. He's awesome. He's a great character. My issue is he should have been introduced on this show a lot sooner than he did.
Episode 1. Yeah. He should have been
in the background. Exactly. He should have been the villain the whole time.
Instead of pretending that the Hutts were going to be the bad guys of the TV show. Only to find out that they were just a cameo for one episode and they're gone.
And that's why I think he's not dead, because the people that have not watched every single animated episode, because there's a lot of the animated shows out there, those fans that only watch the movies and only tune in to these TV shows occasionally, they're going to be like, oh, this is a cool character. Oh, he's dead. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way they're going to bring him back, because
I hope
he's
you're
such
wrong.
an awesome.
I don't think you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too. But from a standpoint of someone that hasn't watched any of the animated shows, I mean, it'd be kind of a waste to introduce him live action and not ever use him again, unless they did something in the past. But I don't know what that would be.
I do have a question for you, Patrick. We talked about this last episode. I'm in the minority here. Talking about Cad Bane specifically, I don't like how he looks in this show. I love his design in the Clone Wars, and I think that the way they did his prosthetics in this show made him look really dumb. But everyone else liked him.
I think he looks great, and especially, you know, I've seen lots of people complaining about that. Doesn't look the same, but I mean, compare what Count Dooku looks like in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Okay.
You can't
accept,
make that
accept. I'm in the minority here. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I agree.
I just want to know your opinion.
He does look cooler in the animated show. I wish it was closer, but I didn't mind how it looked.
For me, it's his nose. It looks puffy, and he looks like a who.
I think if you compare the fairer comparison would be to compare him as a Duros to the Duros in the Cantina in episode 4.
Oh, was there one in? Okay, I'll go. I'll go back.
It's one of the famous ones because one of them has weird hands and the other one has gloves with regular fingers.
Okay.
In the Cantina, but
I'll have to go back.
That comparison, I think, is a fairer one. Their skin is lighter blue.
Are you talking TV show episode 4 or episode 4 movie?
A New Hope.
A New Hope. Okay, I'll go back and watch that.
You know, and they don't have the little tubes on the face. But
well, that was Cad Bane specifically.
Yeah.
He had those installed so he could fight Jedi.
I just didn't like his nose, and there were
Not
YouTubers
before the show.
who within 24 hours of the episode dropping, made modifications to him in CGI that looked better than what Disney did, and so I'm just like it's not hard to fix these things. But okay,
Yeah.
But then you're catering to, how do you cater?
Yeah.
Fans are so fickle.
I know, and I'm one of those fickle fans.
I was gonna say, what's this show about?
That's the point of the show, is we complain about things that we love because I love Star Wars. I still love Star Wars. I did not enjoy this show. I enjoyed The Mandalorian. It's not the best show ever. There's flaws with The Mandalorian, but for the most part, good. This show, I think, is a net negative for me. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it, but I will definitely rewatch The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. There were some really, really awesome parts of this show. Episodes 2 and 4, I think, were okay. The last two before the finale were great, but they weren't Boba Fett shows. And then this episode was pretty good, but I mean the rest of it was just, and as a whole, it was just confusing and not put together very well.
I enjoyed the expansion of just seeing, like, Mos Espa in this case, aliens walking around, kind of regular day-to-day stuff, even if they were jazzy writing gangs. But seeing that sort of thing, and like, I like fan service stuff like Cad Bane showing up and Black Chrysanthemum. I've read all the Doc Aphra comic books, and so when he showed up, I was like, oh my gosh! So that sort of stuff is why I love it, right? Because I'm consuming all this media of all this Star Wars, and so when these things get tied in, I get really excited, and just seeing the background stuff. The story, okay, it's fine, right? It is what it is, because, if I was going to get super concerned about that, I would have watched. Am I still there?
Yeah, you're still there.
Yeah, we can still hear you. You're frozen.
Okay. Watching, like episode 3, the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Some of the dialogue there, if I was basing my fandom on some of the dialogue,
it's not good.
There, I would have been long gone.
Yeah.
But, so.
I liked seeing Chrysanthemum too. I just would have liked to see him be cool, and
I thought he was cool in this episode, and when he ripped the arms off the Trandoshan. But when he first introduced him in that fight with Boba Fett in the back to tank, it was like, come on, he
wakes him up to kill him.
Yeah.
There's a lot that this is one where I was like, you know what, it's fun to watch, but I don't know if I'd highly recommend it to a friend.
Yeah. There's some really awesome stuff in here. It didn't come together in the end as well as I'd hoped. So
all I know is that my wheels have been turning on a Star Wars sitcom ever since we mentioned it.
I think that's great. Yeah.
I think I have so what you get Andy Griffith, right? Or not Andy Griffith. No, Dick Van Dyke. Okay. CGI de-aged Dick Van Dyke, time traveler. Okay. He opens the front door, trips over the ottoman. Oh, honey, I'm home. Oh, his whole family's been murdered by sand people, right? And then every episode is just him coming home to his family being murdered by someone else. Like he'll come home and Anakin has killed his family, but he always trips over the ottoman. So I think I would watch that.
Hey, Dick Van Dyke would be an awesome Star Wars extra. I
agree.
Kathleen Kennedy, get that done.
I love the Dick Van Dyke Show. It is good.
Yeah.
Not that the Andy Griffith Show is bad. It's just what I was referencing with tripping over the ottoman was the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah.
Did we lose Patrick now?
He's back.
He's back. There we go.
What did you think about my pitch?
Dick Van Dyke. Have you seen the holiday special?
I've seen clips.
So, we've already had B. Arthur, so why not Dick Van Dyke? So, have you ever watched the Robot Chicken specials?
No.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of them.
Oh man,
they haven't done a Star Wars one in a while, right? There aren't any
I would, in my opinion, that's probably the best comedy Star Wars
Oh,
thing
it's
that I've seen.
it's
By far, yeah.
fantastic.
And so I'm all for doing something sitcom-y. I think that would be great.
Okay,
There's
so
some other
who's-
good contenders though. We
What-
got Thumb
what's-
Wars. And
What's the odd couple? What's the odd couple Star Wars pairing?
I think we got it this episode. The dojo and the mechanic lady.
I hate you. You have to have a straight man.
You
have
put
to have
Amy Sedaris, her
no,
character,
no.
with
You have-
Molly
okay,
Keeley, who was
I
the
know.
Rancor.
That's
Rancor
not how
trooper
comedy
from Return
works.
of the Jedi.
You have to have a straight man, okay, and one you have a crazy person and a straight man, and the crazy person bounces the crazy off of the straight man, and the straight man comments on how crazy it is, and I hate my life because I'm stuck with the crazy person. Okay, you can't have two crazy people.
I don't know. I think it's an excellent suggestion, David.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to go, but this has been really great. I can't wait to hear your pitch on this Star Wars sitcom. So write it up and send it on over because I think we've got some gold right here.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'll
Yep.
call that too.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's all we have to say about Star Wars. We will continue on talking about Vox Machina. I guess just David and I, but that's fine. Next week we're doing the season finale of Vox Machina on this show, and then the week after that we're gonna take what?
There's 3 more Vox Machinas.
There's only 3 more. It goes up to 12, yes. So
Okay.
we'll be going
Goodness.
the season finale of Vox Machina, and then the week after that, we're going to take a break from Next Gen, and we're going to have an after show, a season 1 post-mortem of The Wheel of Time, where we're going to be playing the game where we have to schedule out all 15 books into 8 seasons of TV, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be doing some other fun things like reviewing Rafe Judkins' original script for episode 1 and talking about some controversial stuff. So that's that. But thanks for joining us, Patrick. It's been a blast. The Star Wars Apologist. I loved hearing your optimism. I wish I could be as optimistic. I've grown
Soft in your old
I've
age.
grown
Wait, that's
soft.
not.
It's the fear, I think. Fear has led to anger, and anger has led to hate, and hate has led to me not enjoying Star Wars as much as I used to.
Well, that's a good justification for your feelings.
It is harder for me. I am more cynical than most people because like I tell stories like for a living. In comedy, I have to come up with entire story arcs and character arcs to character development. In the space of improvising in the space of a short period of time, I go through a whole musical in 40 minutes, and so like I know how to tell good stories. I've done it a lot, and so I'm a little jaded. I admit that I'm biased.
That's okay.
But thanks for coming on. It's been a blast.
Yep, no problem.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
Ciao. Peace out.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. We're getting intimate.
Yeah.
Thanks
It's a
for
little
listening
bit-
to us talk about Star Wars. We're gonna slow things down here with some soft jazz, and we're gonna take our clothes off.
Woo!
So Vox Machina, baby. I for the first time have very few notes on
Yeah.
Vox Machina.
These are my notes for Vox Machina. Very short.
Like you guys said last time, I got very absorbed in the show and didn't have any complaints.
Yeah. I actually did take notes this time. I was watching it and I'm like, oh shoot, I should take notes because I didn't do that last time. But yeah, very few. It was great.
Yeah,
I think these are the best 3 episodes
definitely
so far.
They've been the best 3 episodes so far, and there's like
Woo!
there's no downtime between any of the episodes. It's just a hit after hit after hit, and it doesn't slow down. And I enjoyed every minute of it. And I think for the first time ever, episode 7 made me like Scanlan as a character, who I've been very critical of in the past on this show. I haven't super enjoyed Scanlan, just because I think he's kind of cliche in one note. And in episode 7, he was fantastic.
Yeah, that was the first thing I wrote down. Is Scanlan is actually useful, and they managed to make him an endearing character. He was great. It was fantastic. So thanks for joining us, Ice Pepper Raja.
Vox Machina.
Awesome.
Yeah. This show was fun. Scanlan was awesome. You get a flashback to see that their teacher guy, who at first I thought was the same as the guy who just got killed in episode 6. I thought he was the same as the frog guy.
Yeah, they have the same kind of facial structure.
I thought he'd gone through some sort of like evil transformation when he joined with the Briarwoods, but it's 2 different characters because he's still alive in the show. Oh no, they kill him at the end of 8
of this one. Yeah,
episode 8.
Yeah,
unless he's not actually dead because his tongue is still moving. That tongue thing, I hated and loved. It was gross in the best way possible, and I hated it, and it was good. I hope there's an explanation for it, though. I want to know why his tongue was moving.
Silver tongue thing. Yeah.
If it was just like a gift, so I'm guessing like Briarwoods gave him like a magic tongue, and so it was imbued with magic, and it was still withering. I would like to be surprised, and there's like something more behind it, maybe like being puppeted by or like some kind of creature that was controlling. I don't know, but it was cool. But that's episode 8. Episode 7, I have Percy feels kind of like a warlock to me, and that he's clearly like made a deal with the devil or something like that to get his gun. But I'm really liking Percy's character. He's definitely, in the first couple episodes, he was kind of underdeveloped, and just he's the guy who has a gun. And I like that we get to know more about him. His backstory is really cool, and I like the hints at like there's like a dark power. Maybe he made a blood pact for revenge, and I want to know what the cost was. Yeah, because
sorry,
no,
continue.
Like, well, he had to like give something up, right, to get revenge.
Yeah. No, I really like the extra character development and backstory that we're getting Percy, and I'm hoping and assuming that after this arc with the Briarwoods is done, whether it's next season or what, that we'll get more backstory for some of the other characters like Caleth and
I want to see some Caleth stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty good with Vex and Vax for now. Like I know we'll probably get more backstory later, but like I think I know enough about their characters.
Yeah, I think Caleth would be the one I'd want to have a more in-depth dive, because she revealed that she's like some sort of princess or something back in her. Yeah, well, she's
supposed to rule her people, and she needs to prove herself.
Yeah.
I want to see Keyleth's backstory, and I want to see Grog. I want to know what's up with Grog, and we've gotten a lot of Pike too. Not so much her backstory, but like her motivation.
Motivations for sure. Yeah, Grog was great in these episodes too. It was.
I don't think Pike needs.
Episode 8 was great.
I don't think Pike needs a backstory. Like you kind of already know. It's like, oh, she was a holy person, and now she's kind of become corrupted by these guys, and she realized that that's what she likes instead of being a monk or a nun, right?
Yeah.
Where did Percy get the supplies to make his gun, though? Because he was like homeless. He was homeless on the street,
and then he had some vision, and then
in the
he
next
made
scene,
a gun.
he had a forge and like resources, and he knows how to blacksmith. I'm like, that's not a skill that you just wake up and have. Like he must have really made a deal with the devil to become like a scientist overnight. But I like that he was given this divine blueprint for how to make a gun. It's ridiculous, and I like it. I like
pretty cool explaining his his existence, I guess, in this medieval D&D setting. So it was kind of cool.
I like that Scanlan just has a bunch of random potions. That's a very D&D thing to have. Just like, I don't know what these do, and I'm going to risk it,
Yeah, and they set that up in one of the previous episodes when
Yep.
he took one and turned into a girl, and then he turned into
Hey, that wasn't a
whatever
potion.
else.
That was the
Oh
scroll.
no, that was the scroll. You're right. That paid off too.
He'd mentioned them several times. I've got a bunch of potions. You want me to use them? And like, yeah, I'm glad we're shooting Chekhov's gun in this episode.
Yeah, it was great. All the things they're setting up are paying off in these 3 episodes, or at least the first 2.
Yeah, it was very little notes because it was action packed and the action was really good. I don't understand the logistics of Scanlan's crotch magic. Just like how that works, because like he was standing on his hands, and does he need his hands to channel the magic? And he didn't have a phalange available to him, so he used his crotch.
Or like when he's fighting with the guy on the roof, is that when that happened?
It's not the size that counts, it's how you use it.
Yeah.
And he does a hip thrust, lightning.
See, that's the kind of sexual content I like. The subtle innuendos that you're not going to get unless you're an adult. That's great. I did appreciate when he's going through the manor and he walks in on those guards playing D&D. That was a great little Easter egg. That was fun. But and then the his little middle finger sword fight was hilarious.
That was good. Yeah. It was a fun episode. It was fun. It was a good.
Definitely was.
It was a good cliffhanger ending. Have Percy's sister get her throat slit.
Yeah. Well, was that the end of this one, or was it?
Yeah, it's the end of the episode.
Yeah,
it's mostly really Scanlan, and then it cuts, and they're like, "Okay, let's go in and save my sister," and it goes with him chasing down his mentor, and he goes, and he just slits her throat.
Yeah, that was really good. I thought she was going to be some like corrupted. She still could be, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like Attack on Titan. Like if you cut yourself, then you'll turn into like some kind of beast, and he'd have to fight his sister. I'm still suspicious of his sister.
Me too.
Even after this,
she could turn. She did mention that she was feeding information to the rebels, and if that wasn't true, then the rebels would have not been okay with her going with them.
Yeah,
but she could have also been doing that as a front to be a double agent and doing things for the.
But the line that Lady Briarwood says to her in episode 6, though, is like, "This changes nothing" or something like that. I don't remember.
I was and we got to escalate our plans or whatever.
I am sus of a sister, even though she had her throat slit and almost died.
Yeah,
I think she's a vampire. I don't know. Probably
maybe so. I think also at the very end of episode 7, that door gag was just classic D&D. Like, oh, look, we got to be careful. Let's lockpick this. And Grog is like, screw that! I'm going in. It's not a trap. You're like, oh, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's like, yes, that's such a D&D moment.
It was good. And then episode 8 is just action. It's just the fight in the manor. I have no notes. I have good tongue thing, connect to the dots. Those are my notes for episode 8.
So I have a couple notes for episode 8.
Yeah.
I mentioned in Boba Fett that the music at several points just didn't land.
It was awful.
That's something that I tried to fix. It's
so good.
Fantastic. And a perfect example that was a stark contrast to Boba Fett is when Caliph is bringing Percy's sister back from the dead. She's doing her magic or whatever, and the music is swelling, and all of a sudden it stops. And it's like, oh, this is going to be a sad moment.
Because there's a reason for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then she goes, and then the music comes back, and it's perfect. It is so well timed. And that is what I was missing when Freetown people came and rescued
because that's how
people at Boba Fett. Yeah. Exactly. It was so well done, and great to. Oh, hey,
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
The music, the music in that moment was just spot on, and the little bit of humor, like, oh, you're alive. It was great. It was well acted. The music was fantastic. Another thing. I loved the dynamic in this episode and in the next episode too, with between Grog and Vax. it's very similar to Gimli and Legolas. I thought in the Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
they're fighting
kind of
both with the iron golems and then with the giants as well. You know, there's like mine fell first. You know, it's like steel only counts as one. You know, very reminiscent. Their banter between each other.
There's a lot of camaraderie between the voice actors, that the characters. It shows on screen that these guys are friends, and it's cool.
And then the other note that I had that was just perfect is when the tongue, the silver tongue or whatever, is cut off and is dancing around, and then Percy in the background is just walking slowly, and he goes behind Caliph, I think, or whoever's in the middle, and all of a sudden he's got his mask on. It was just a wonderful transition. It's just the artistic I love direction in the show is just wonderful. It was so well done.
I also really liked the line. They're like, catch it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What is this? Really good transitions. Just really, really good action. I loved, turning Grog against them. I love that kind of. It was fun. Yeah. And then the joke at the end with the star chart is so good. Grog says, "Oh, is this one of those connect the dots things?"
Yeah.
No, it's the stars, you dummy. Yeah. And like I said before, like that is a really intelligent joke. It takes a really smart person to write jokes for a dumb person that are that good.
Yeah.
Like it, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, like I said, Grog was just amazing in these episodes, and Scanlan too. It's so good.
I like that they split the party and that they didn't jump between the two scenes. Like episode 7 was just Scanlan by himself, and episode 8 was the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Really good.
Presumably happening simultaneously, or somewhat. I really liked it, and I liked they're showing more of Percy's I guess skill set or powers. When everybody turned on him and he was like mathing out the trajectory of the bullet to shoot the guy's tongue off. Of course, it was kind of it was a cool fight scene and everything, but it was kind of obvious, like you're fighting these iron golems, they're not doing anything.
Go
for the guy that's just standing there that's controlling him,
Or so the line where she's like, "Oh, go for the joints." Well, like, that's how you fight anyone who has armor on, is you go for the joints.
Right.
You can't stab your knife through armor.
But also you could go for the guy who's unguarded, who's controlling them this whole time. And they didn't think about that till they were all turned and it was just Percy backed against the wall. But it was still very, very cool. That was the only complaint I had, is that they didn't think of that sooner.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that we are on the right track and that Scanlan just likes using cock lightning. Cool. It's
very nice.
It was just fun. These episodes were really fun. It was great. You split the party. You got to focus on one character, focus on the rest of the characters, and then the third episode you got to see them all together. So episode 9, the Tide of Bone. You get the Briarwood's backstory is great. I thought
that was cool seeing that too.
It made them very compelling characters. That they just love each other and they're willing to sacrifice anyone or anything to stay together. That's enough motivation for me, and it's a good motivation, and it's cool. They're cool villains.
Yeah, I would like to know more about her though. Like how did she get her magical powers, and what's her? I mean, she's not a vampire, obviously. She turned her husband into a vampire, but I thought it was cool though.
To be fair, they didn't figure it during the game either. I'm just saying in general, like that's how combat works. See, when you're fighting someone in armor, you have to go for the things between the armor. You can't stab a sword through plate.
Yeah, and I have very much enjoyed actually watching little clips of the show that correspond to the parts of the show. Like I went back and I watched.
Everyone's clipping the show now and saying, "Hey, this is that moment from the TV show."
Yeah, those are great. Like the moment that they're trying to get in through the door.
I haven't seen that one.
That one's a really good one. I recommend you you do. I mean, they changed it up, of course.
Yeah. Of course.
Scanlan eventually opens it up with his magic hand or whatever, and in the show it didn't do anything, and then the guard comes in and throws the piss pot at him. But yeah, it was really fun. And then the moment where they walk into the city and they see all the people, their effigies, I guess, hung on the tree. That was a cool moment too in the show. And the realization on everybody's face is like,
it's us.
That's us. Yeah. So those
I'm
moments
assuming
cool.
Matt Mercer just like, oh, you see 5 seemingly innocuous bodies hanging from the tree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And one of them one of them is tall and has like an axe strung on his back, and like, okay, that could be anybody. And one of them is kind of a small child who looks like it might have a wig on to make his hair blonde, and he's wearing a pendant that's in the shape of the exact same pendant that's on your chest. And then there's another one, and they're like, oh shoot.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happens. He goes and describes.
That's how I would do it as a DM.
And he's like, "Why are you going into this much detail?" And then you can see the moment they realize, like, it's us. It's us. Oh my goodness, it's us. It's cool. So yeah, I've been loving going back and watching those little clips that where they.
Well,
they
that's
got
how I
the
was
inspiration
introduced
for
to
the show.
Critical Role. It was just people clipping random moments from the show.
Yeah, that's all I'd seen in the past too, but previous to the show.
Yeah, I've seen.
This was good. Also, the humor in this throughout the show, especially in these last episodes, is just so good. Like the moment when Scanlan was bit by the zombie, and Vex is like, it could be
Don't cut it
worse.
up now. It's a last resort. Yeah, it could be worse. It could be my arm.
It could be my arm. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, and then what you're referring to is like, Grog is like,
cut it off.
You want me to whack it off? It's like, yeah, you're gonna have to if I lose it,
but not yet.
Yeah, the little innuendo jokes. Oh, and then when they're introduced to the zombies, Scan is like, "It's a whore. There's a whore. There's a." Like,
we don't have time for
it's
you.
not the time, Scan. No, there's a horde of undead zombies.
Yeah, it was
good.
It's
like
fun.
that's how you make a
good
bard character good. You make those jokes. I don't know. It's fantastic. So, yeah.
The whispered one is freaking cool. I have that as a note.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the face in the ceiling for turning Dude Briarwood into a vampire. So I Lady Briarwood is not a vampire. It's just him, unless he turned her eventually after that scene. But it seems like she's just a sorceress because she's using her own blood.
Yeah, no, she's not a vampire. We saw that shot previously where they're walking down the hall and in the mirror.
You can see him. Yeah,
and you can see her, but not him.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
I mean they did it again in this episode, but they did it when they first came to and met Percy at dinner or whatever.
I love that there's just no downtime here, like no time to breathe, which if you can pull it off in a D&D session is really good when you're like, oh, we finished the encounter and like, well, but you're not out of the thick of it yet. And you don't have time for a long rest, baby. That
was great.
I did have a note. What is even left of the resistance now? There's like 2 people.
5 people, yeah.
And I wrote that note before they killed off like 5 more of the people. And I was just like Vax is the leader now, but like of what?
Percy's the leader.
Percy's the leader now, yeah, right. But like by default, because like all of the leadership is dead.
Yeah. Well, presumably, more of the town is going to join the cause because But yeah, you're right.
But like the leadership of the resistance, they were all in that room with him, and the party goes up the ladder first, and then the resistance leaders are coming up, and like half of them get killed by the zombies, and it's pretty much just Percy's friend and the girl with like blue hair who are left, and then he dies, and so there's I guess
Yeah, I did think that was a fitting end for his dwarf friend.
Yeah, the residents, the regular people, joined in the fight after the big pike thing and the sign in the sky. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Right. that the sign rallied the people. Yeah, no, I was just saying I think it was a fitting end for his dwarf friend.
Yeah, it's good. Chopped in half. It was good.
Yeah, it was a good emotional moment and inspiration for Percy to step up and lead. I did.
It's a good end for the general character too. He's like, you're not on my list, so.
Oh yeah, that was good too. Yeah,
it's like a contract thing. Like he's got to get these names, or he loses his soul or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it was really good. It makes me because the dwarf friend was voiced by Dominic Monaghan, right? From Lord of the Rings. And
yes.
I thought he did a fantastic job, and he was in what, like 4 episodes in total or something?
3 or 4.
Yeah, he's in 3 or 4 episodes.
Briefly.
It just makes me sad that they didn't keep David Tennant in for longer. He was just an episode and a half. No, never mind. He was in 3 episodes.
Yeah,
but,
for like 2 lines.
Yeah, but they disposed of him pretty quick.
Yeah,
when he
or David Tennant's character.
I know.
Oh, and I loved in the thick of the fight, you get the who was it between? Was it Percy and Vex? No, it was Vax and Keyleth, where he says, I'm in love with you. And
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Now? This is like the worst time for that. It was great.
That was good. And we had shipped them in our first series of the first 3 episodes or whatever. So
I'm still holding out for Percy and Trinket.
Yeah.
I think that's who I said the first time I made that joke. Roll tape. Roll back there.
I think so, yeah.
Roll back the tape. I don't know.
We'll insert that in post. Oh wait, this is live.
Yeah, right. And then we get to we get Pike, astral projection, Zoom call cleric.
Yeah. OP astral projection powers.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, it was cool to see powerful magic, and you're like, this is clearly a one-time thing because she's currently like in a temple, like soaking up power from a god, and like it was cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
And I loved the joke there that like, I'm astral projection. Like, your ass what? Grog's line, and I was just like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it ends with that lady in the jail cell. They're going through the tunnel to finally fight the Briarwoods. I'm assuming it's going to be 3 episodes of fighting the Briarwoods, which would be great. I would love to have another 3 episodes like this.
Yeah. Who else is on his gun?
Both the Briarwoods.
Yeah. Is that it?
It was the frog guy and their
and the teacher that he killed in this
and
episode.
the 2 Briarwoods. And I think there are 6 barrels, 2 more. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why I was a little confused that the general guy's name wasn't on that barrel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go back and watch when he first
maybe
reveals it. He's scrolling through all the names.
Maybe the last name on the gun is his own.
Could be. That could be part of the bargain.
Anna Ripley. And 1 is blank. Who's Anna Ripley? Don't remember.
I don't remember that name.
But yeah, it ends with the lady in the jail cell saying, "Hey, I can lead you to the Briarwoods," and she's clearly like some kind of mimic or something. Because it showed that thing like crawling on the ground, and then Percy goes off and says, "I'm gonna put a bullet." Oh, this is probably Anna Ripley, some kind of not a mimic, but like a changeling,
something
a shapeshifter.
She was the slug on the wall, I assume.
Because it wasn't just like, oh, this is a trap. This is like someone on my list at the end of the show. So I'm assuming that this is Anna Ripley, the lady in the cell.
Probably a safe bet.
Yeah, that was another good cliffhanger to end these episodes on. I'm a little bit torn on whether it would be better for this show to release one episode at a time. Because obviously episode 7 would be more effective if you have to wait a whole week after seeing Percy's sister's throat get slit. Also, it's kind of nice that you don't have to wait a week to figure out what happens there, right? I liked being able to see these 3 episodes all together. It still feels like it's a missed opportunity for Amazon to not spread the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's how Game of Thrones became a sensation. Because you got 1 episode a week and people could not stop talking about it. And you have time for YouTubers to review the show, right? And say, hey, this is what I think's going on, right? And then you just get water cooler talk at work. Did you see the episode of Game of Thrones where they killed off this character? I can't believe that happened, right? You literally had buzz, for at least a month and a half while the new season was airing. The entire world was talking about Game of Thrones. Compare that to Stranger Things. People talked about Stranger Things because it was a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Did they talk about it as much as Game of Thrones? No. It all came out at once. People weren't talking about, hey, what do you think is going to happen next episode? They were saying, hey, did you watch Game of Thrones? I watched the first 3 episodes. Oh, so we can't talk about it. I've seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it literally, the way that Netflix releases their shows is bad for the TV shows. It prohibits people from discussing them. First off, you have, as a YouTuber, I can't go in and review episode by episode how the show's going. I can't make predictions. Oh, what do you think is going to happen at the end of the like we've done with Boba Fett, which has been fun. Like, hey, what do you think they're going to do with this? Let's analyze this. Let's talk about it. Right? It just seems counterintuitive to me.
Yeah.
I think that 3 episodes at a time is an acceptable middle ground, but I still kind of think 1 episode a week would be better.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was smart releasing the first 3 all at once because that was kind of like a full arc, right?
Yeah.
Or was it episode 2 or episode 3 that they killed the dragon?
3. No, 2. 2, because 3 set up the Briarwoods.
Okay. So
it was 2 episodes and then a setup for what the rest of the season is going to be.
You're right. Okay, I remember that. So I take that back. I think probably 2 episodes at a time might have been better.
Yeah. 2 episodes.
Because even this one,
2,
it was
2
like
would be better than 3.
Even this one, it was nice to see the first 2 episodes back to back, right? But then the third one with the zombies
finishes
kind of
up.
felt like it was different. And the same thing with the first 3 episodes. The first 2 episodes was setting up everything, setting up the dragon, and then killing the dragon. And then the third episode was setting up the Briarwoods. I just felt like, maybe 2 episodes at a time might have been better. I don't know.
How long did people talk about Stranger Things? They talked about it for a week.
Yeah.
And even then, you couldn't even talk about it to half the people because, I've only seen the first episode. I'm not a madman. I didn't binge it all in one night, right? Some people who may be on the show. It's counterintuitive. But yeah, I think 3 episodes is too much. And I realize they may have done it to meet Kickstarter expectations, but I hope that season 2 they spread it out a little bit. And with this show in particular, the episodes are really short, so it's nice to have more than just 1. But I think you're right. I think 2 would serve better than 3,
as long as they continue following arcs. This season we've had consistently 2 episodes 2-episode arc and then another episode that doesn't quite fit, setting up the next ones. And I don't know, I think it might have been, if they set up in future episodes, they have a 2-episode arc here released and then the next 2-episode arc. I don't know, that might be better. But yeah, I agree. I think I've never really liked Netflix dropping all their shows at once, because then for one, I have to avoid spoilers until I watch the whole season.
And you get jerks on the internet talking about the finale and putting in their YouTube thumbnails like spoilers, and you're like,
I hate that.
Go die. Like, apparently Scanlan has said who the last name is. So
yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that. That's cool. If they're
I guess I have to rewatch these episodes. Yeah.
Oh no, how terrible would that be? Yeah.
I'm enjoying the heck out of the show, though. It's
for sure.
It's good quality. You asked. Yeah, it's been fun. I think one might be too little, because it'd be too dissatisfying. You wait for a whole week to see 20 to 15 minutes of a show. I think 2 episodes would be better.
Yeah.
Check the shadows when you rewatch the scene. Yeah, there were shadows. There was a thing crawling on the ground. It looked like a little tentacle.
It wasn't on the ground. It looked like it was on the wall. But yeah,
there was a little tentacle swirling through this thing. Oh, fine, I'll rewatch the scene, I guess. Okay. That episode I was watching on my phone. The rest I saw on my TV. But I had to watch it.
Is unacceptable.
I had to finish it. Okay. I was pooping.
TMI.
I didn't want to stop.
TMI, bro.
I didn't want to stop watching. Okay. It was good. There was no downtime between the episodes, and I wanted to feel like I was with the characters. I didn't want to stop watching the show, but I had to take care of business. Okay.
Nice.
On the wall. Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll look at the shadows on the wall. Yeah, it's been a blast. I'm looking forward to next week. Mostly because I will not have to watch the Book of Boba Fett, and I can just watch these 3. I can just watch these. Speaking of that, though, we are coming to the end of The Legend of Vox Machina, and we need a new show to watch on this show. So please let us know in the comments if there's a show in particular that you want us to watch and review on Best Gen. I have 2 suggestions, and I'm highly favoring the one. There is a sci-fi channel series called Resident Alien that is really good. You've seen it? I haven't
just finished watching season 2.
Oh, I haven't watched season 2 yet. They just started they're like 3 episodes deep in season 2, right?
Right.
So I watched season 1. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it's the kind of show that you could analyze. It's a comedy, it's not so much like, oh, we could predict what's going to happen. It's kind of just are you along for the ride? But it would be fun to talk about this on this show. The one that I think would work really, really well is Raised by Wolves. Have you seen that, David?
I've seen the thumbnail. I think I added it to the watch list, but haven't gone any further.
Watch the Alan Tudyk one. Doesn't matter what the have you seen Raised by Wolves? Ice Pepper Raja. That's my question for you. I watched the first season a long time ago, and I didn't even know that they'd started season 2 because they didn't advertise it. I saw an advertisement on YouTube last week, and they're 3 or 4 episodes deep into season 2, and so I had to go and binge all of them because Raised by Wolves is great. It's produced by Ridley Scott, the guy who made Alien, okay? And it's written and directed not by committee, by one guy, okay? And I read an interview with him, and he's planned out the entire 7-season story arc. He knows where the story's going. It's his personal passion project, and it is incredible, okay? Problem is, we're not going to be able to, watch it as it comes out because I can't ask my cast members to go binge watch an entire season and then 3 episodes of season 2. So we're just going to start with episode 1, season 1, and we'll be behind a little bit, but we'll catch up. Okay. I highly recommend it. It is, I wouldn't say it's the best thing ever. I wouldn't call it a 10 out of 10. I would definitely say it is the most original sci-fi I have ever seen. It might not be your favorite. It's unlike anything you will ever watch. It's really unique. It's mystical, and the science is very intriguing. I've absolutely loved it so far.
Cool.
And
that one's on Netflix?
It's on HBO Max. So I will probably pay for HBO Max and share my account with everyone on the show.
I've got access already.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, then we'll use yours because I just
I
literally just canceled my HBO. Now I have to re-sign up. Yeah. So we will talk about Resident Alien. I just don't think it's the kind of show that we could like break down episode by episode.
It's a good show though. It's really good.
It's fun. And
Alan Tudyk is amazing.
Alan Tudyk is a national treasure.
It's. I was going into that show. I was like, how are you going to, like this character who's an alien who wants to kill all of humanity, and he pulls it off. It's like
it's brilliant.
It's amazing. His performance.
I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, this is going to be fun, right? It's going to be a little alien romp, and it's Alan Tudyk. I'll watch anything that he's in. And then you get episode 1 and you're like, oh, he's a bad guy. He murders people in the first episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are they going to make you like his character? How do we care about this story? And it is done so friggin' well. I love Resident Alien. It's good. I'm worried about it though. It feels like one of those shows that they could drag out too long.
I agree. I was confused on how they would continue after season 1, but they're doing a pretty dang good job so far. Have you watched any of season 2 yet?
No, I have not seen. I just barely found out that it was airing. At the same time I found out about Raised by Wolves, and I was a little more committed to Raised, because season 1 ended with I needed to know what was going on. Season 1 of Raised by Wolves it's a cliffhanger, and I had to figure out what was going on. So
nice. So Ice Pepper Raja was Alan Tudyk in Spamalot? That's awesome. What role did he play in the Broadway production?
Guess. If I had to guess, I'm not looking. Covering up the comments. Alan Tudyk in Spamalot. I actually haven't seen Spamalot. Is it? I'm assuming it's
hilarious. I went to go see it with my wife. Was it last year or the year before?
I was thinking.
I thought it was going to be, just the same as Monty Python's Holy Grail, but
that's what I had in my head.
It was.
You
great.
said Spamalot, and I thought, oh, it's what role is he playing in Monty Python's Holy Grail? So it's different.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same story, but they change it up a lot, and they add new songs, and it's just fantastic.
Does he play Sir not appearing in this play?
Sir not appearing in this play. I don't know. He'd make a good Lancelot.
I don't think he'd be a good King Arthur. I mean, he could pull off King Arthur. I just don't think he'd be the best in that role. He's best. He's good as a supporting. He's good as a very supporting character who's like constantly there.
I think he'd be an okay Lancelot, but Lancelot is kind of played off as like a big.
What about Sir Robin?
Brute character until the end.
Chaste.
Sir Robin the Chaste. Yeah. I'm trying to think because what's great about the Spamalot show is they actually give backstories to a lot of the knights, and some of the scenes in Monty Python and Holy Grail that they go through, like the bring out your dead, and the constitutional peasants or whatever. The knights are in those scenes, and they're the characters that they recruit and become Knights of the Round Table.
Okay.
So it was really cool. I'm trying to remember though. what roles there were. I don't remember. So, Ice Pepper Aja, you haven't answered the question. Who was Alan Tudyk in the maybe the bunny?
He plays Lancelot. Played.
That's what I thought. Lancelot probably has
first. You're too slow.
He does that dance number. Yeah. I know the one. Yeah. I think he'd be a hilarious Lancelot, especially when the transformation change happens near the end. So anyways, yeah. I recommend it if you ever see it coming to a theater near you.
Yeah. So I will highly recommend to the people on the show that they watch Resident Alien, and we will definitely talk about it with the big group. But we're not going to break it down episode by episode. We'll probably talk about like season 1 and season 2 as a whole. But I think it would be a lot of fun to break down Raised by Wolves, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one of the regulars who's seen it, which will be really hard for me because my thing is I like playing predictions, and the real question is, do I stop watching season 2
until we catch
wait
up
for you guys to catch up, which will be like 15 weeks from now?
See, the hard thing is
I don't know if I could do that to myself.
The hard thing is you've already watched everything, so you're going to have to rewatch season 1 so you don't explain too much.
No problem. I'm going to be rewatching it episode by episode with you guys, because I want to. I wanted to rewatch season 1 before season 2 came out so I could refresh it, but it dropped on me so sudden. I was like, I can't wait and watch 10 episodes before, and so I'm going to go back and rewatch it anyway. But the real question is, can I save myself? I think I can't. I think I have to watch season 2, and I will be like the book reader who's watching Game of Thrones and trying not to spoil the Red Wedding. That will be my role on this show. I will be the host, and you guys will be the humble participants. But yeah, that won't be next episode. Because next episode we're just talking about Vox Machina. It'll be chill. Maybe we'll play some games. It'll be fun. I'll plan something special for next episode to pad out the runtime a little bit. But we'll have some fun talking about Vox Machina. Maybe do something special. And then the week after that, there is no Best Gen. We're doing an after show. The Wheel of Time season 1 recap. We're playing some games and reviewing some spices. That'll be a lot of fun. This has been a blast. Do you have anything else to add, David? I think this has been a fun show.
Yeah, Vox Machina has been great.
Thanks for tuning in on a Saturday to oblige my cast members who couldn't do it on a Sunday, even though they left after just an hour.
I got you, bro.
It's all good. It's all good. My brother from the same mother. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us.
I would never leave you midstream.
And that is all. David pulled a joke. It was the big fast one. It's been a blast. Love you guys. Thanks for commenting. Our loyal viewers, Juice and Ice Pepper Raja. I love hearing your comments. Yeah, thanks for sticking around and watching my stuff. We will see you next week with the season finale of The Legend of Vox Machina. Does that mean I will spend hours making a new intro for the show? I can't make any promises. Also, it's hard to make fun of Vox Machina because it's so good. We'll see you next week on Best Gen. Bye, everybody!